Hey friends, so today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I am actually going to make this video where you can learn a little bit more about me. I was tagged by Adrienne from Jewel Butterfly over on YouTube, and I will link her channel down below. And so I thought I would answer some of these questions that, is part of the tag video, but also I had people on Instagram ask me questions for this video as well. So if you want to get to know a little bit more about me, stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body buttons for your neck. All they really want.
My name is Becky Park, and I am super sick right now. It was a 5-day work week, like a regular work week, and I only made it to school for like a day and a half. Like, it was a rough week, and I'm still sounding really rough. I'm looking really rough, and that's why I just thought I would film a little bit easier of a video. And since I was tagged by Adrienne, I thought that I would go ahead and make this video now. But in case you don't know very much about me, I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. I did get back into Mercari this week, although I have yet to make a sale on Mercari. And I am married, I am a mom of 2 kids, and I teach high school choir full-time. So that's what I do with all of my time that I have, which isn't very much. Oh my gosh, I'm like sweaty. Okay. We're going to get through this as quickly as possible. So in the video that Adrienne made, there were like 19 questions that whoever had tagged her before had come up with. So I'm going to go through those questions first. Most of them really don't have very much to do with reselling, but after I get through those, I will get into some of the questions that people asked over on Instagram. The first question is, what does your channel name mean? There's not very much to it. It's Becky Park on Poshmark. And when I first started reselling, I was only on Poshmark. I was so scared of eBay, and so I was like sure that I would never ever delve into the world of eBay. So I called myself Becky Park on Poshmark. I thought it had a good ring to it because Park and Mark rhyme, and it is kind of a lengthy name, but hopefully it's kind of memorable, so people, are able to find it if they're like, oh, I want to watch that one random girl's channel, and it's kind of easy to find. So that's what it means. There's no like hidden meanings or anything to it. The second question is, where were you born? I was born in Evanston, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Number 3, where are you now? Now I am in Champaign, Illinois. My husband and I both went to school at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and once we graduated, we just kind of stuck around. Like, we really like the town. I like the fact that, despite it being a college town, it's actually very, very diverse, and I like being able to interact with people of all different kinds, whether it's, ethnicities or people coming from different socioeconomic statuses, or it's just very, very diverse. So we really like it here. We don't have plans to go anywhere else right now, but yeah, that's where we are. The fourth question is, what would your parents have named you if you were the opposite sex? Probably something basic like John. I'm Korean, and I feel like there are a bajillion John Kims in the world. Kim was my maiden name, so I feel like John, Joseph, those are my brother's names. Maybe like, I don't know, Matthew. Like, those are all super generic Korean names because a lot of Koreans like to pick names out of the Bible, and there are only so many names in the Bible, so that's probably what I would have been named. I feel like I would have been a John because that's what my brother right below me was named. Oh, my voice. It is rough, guys. It's so rough. I'm so sorry. Number 5 is, what is your eye color? I don't know. See for yourself. It's like a dark brown. I mean, again, I'm Asian, so dark brown. Number 6, what's your favorite candle scent? There is this one from Yankee Candle. It's something with like pine or holly. I don't know. I like the ones where it smells like you're outside in the winter in like a pine forest. So it's something like that. And I have this one too that like, it like flickers and it makes sound as if you have a fire going. I don't remember the scent though. I'm not really into like super girly scents like vanilla or apple. I don't know what scents I'm talking about, but I generally don't like to light candles unless it's something that's going to make me feel like I'm outside. Number 7 is, can you cook? I can. I don't do it very much because my husband has taken over cooking responsibilities. One, because he's home more than I am. I think he also enjoys it more than I do, and he's really good. So I haven't cooked a lot in a while, and I feel like there are just some things that I'm not as good at as he is, and he knows that, so he would just rather do it because it'll taste better. Generally speaking, though, we cook a lot of Korean food at home. We'll do like pastas and stuff too. We'll do some American food, but I think like across the board, my husband and my daughter, we all like to eat Korean food the most. My son just doesn't like to eat, so he eats things like peanuts and sunflower seeds and cheese, so he is down for whatever, but it really doesn't have to be cooked. So yeah, but I cook a little bit. I'm okay at it. My husband is much better. Question number 8 asks, what is your sign? I think I'm a Virgo. I'm a September baby, so Virgo, right? I don't really take heed of any of the sign stuff, so I don't know what that means, like to be a Virgo or anything, but that's what I am. Number 9, what scares you about getting old? Ooh, that's a good question. I think I get scared thinking about not being able to take care of myself or my kids anymore, like getting to that stage where my kids have to take care of me. I don't know, that just makes me really sad because right now I really enjoy being their mother and being the one to take care of them. So I think just that reversal of roles would be really hard. Other than that, like, I'm already super looking forward to retirement, and I don't know, like, there are parts of getting older that are really hard, but so far I've been okay with it. So we'll see. I don't know. That's not a very good answer, but yeah. Number 10 asks, what is the last thing you bought? Today I got some medicine. I got some antibiotics, so that's really exciting. It's been a long time since I bought something for myself, besides like medicine and like throat drops and stuff. Clothing wise, I did buy myself a pair of like wide like Everlane jeans when I was in New York. That was a really fun purchase. That's about it. Number 11, what is your favorite holiday? Definitely Christmas. I love Christmas. And I love it because of gifts and stuff, but I love it more because my parents are in Seattle now and I'm in the Midwest, and so we don't get to see each other very much, but they come, a couple weeks before Christmas and we're able to spend a lot of time with them. And I just love being together with family and, decorating and eating together and just all that kind of stuff. So definitely Christmas. What is your guilty pleasure? I have a ton. One would be rereading books that I love. So I love Harry Potter. I really love The Hunger Games. And those are books that I will reread over and over again. Right now I'm listening to The Goblet of Fire again. Another guilty pleasure is Candy Crush. I am kind of ridiculous with that game. It wastes a lot of time, but that's like usually how I'll go to sleep at night. Like TV shows, things like The Office and Friends, like I like to watch those over and over again. And like with food, I really like McDonald's Coke. I know I've talked about that before on this channel. There's something about McDonald's Coke that's better than all other Coke. And I am like very much a sweets person. I really like, sweets. I like desserts and pastries and stuff like that. There is this bakery in New York, and it's in a lot of different states, but I have gone to the one in New York the most, and it's called Paris Baguette, and they have this coffee bun. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So I really like sweets, but lots of guilty pleasures, and I partake in all of them. I don't really hold back. Life is too short to hold back from, enjoying your guilty pleasures every once in a while. Number 13, what show do you binge watch? I kind of already answered this, but Friends and Office. I also really like Parks and Recreation. I also love 30 Rock, but that's not on Netflix anymore, so it's been harder to watch. And there's another one that they pulled off of Netflix. I don't know, but those, Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt, I really like that one too. I do enjoy Tina Fey's humor a lot, so those would probably be my favorite ones that I like to binge watch. What item do I never leave my house without? I mean, my phone. I feel like that's so generic. It's my phone. That's my lifeline. I feel super naked without it. So that would be the answer to that. Number 15, are you an evening person or morning person? Like neither. I mean, I can stay up late at night, and I guess I do prefer to do that than wake up early. I do feel like I am much more productive in the morning, though. But I feel like I just don't really remember what it feels like to be super productive since having kids. When you have little ones at home, they're forever interrupting you when you are finally, like, getting in your groove. So, I don't know, like, I think probably morning person, I guess. But I don't really like to get up early in the morning, so I don't know if that's real or not. Number 16, what is your favorite movie genre? Probably comedies. I hate horror films. I cannot. Like, I cry watching horror films. Like romantic comedies are okay. Like sci-fi is okay. I don't really like to watch movies though, actually, because I don't like to commit, an hour and a half to 2 hours of my time to something that I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it or not. Like shows, I'm much more apt to start or try out because it's like a 23-minute commitment, or maybe at the most like 45 minutes or something. But a movie, it's like once you start it, you feel bad like not finishing it, but if it's just not a very good movie, that's like 2 hours of your life gone. So I'm not really a big movie person anymore. Number 17, what's good in your life right now? I mean, everything. I feel like everything is really good. There are so many things going for me. There are a lot of blessings in my life, and I really don't have the right to complain about anything. Like, yes, I'm sick right now. Yes, it's very busy at work, and there are a lot of things that I could complain about, but really when I think about it, especially compared to maybe what some other people are going through, like, I know I'm blessed, and I know that I'm lucky to have the life that I have. So probably like the thing I'm most thankful for is my supportive husband. He really, just allows me to chase after my dreams. He loves to tell me that I'm a small girl with big dreams. And, when I am excited about something and when I want to do something, like I go after it hard, and he's just kind of left to catch up in the background. And the fact that he lets me pursue my dreams, though, I'm really thankful for that. So he's probably like the best thing I have going for me right now. Question number 18 asks, are you an introvert or extrovert? This is funny because my accompanist and I like talk about this all the time, because she's always like, I'm an introvert. Like, she's an introvert, and I'm always like, me too. And she's like, no, you're not. She's like, you're such an extrovert. I guess I am. Like, when I hear like true introverts talk about what it's like to be in a crowd, like my youngest brother is an introvert, and he talks about how he's like so physically tired after having to spend a lot of time with a lot of people, even like family, or he gets like almost like anxiety thinking about having to step into these situations, whereas like I like voluntarily like waltz into, these situations where there are a lot of people and a lot of small talk and that kind of stuff. And I mean, I like to think that a lot of it is because of the nature of my job. Like as a choir teacher, I feel like I'm kind of a public figure. Like I'm one of the most public figures in my school because I take my students around to do a lot of different things. Like we're always on like local access television, and I'm always being interviewed and things like that. And I think like it's a skill I've honed. I don't know if I'm naturally necessarily an extrovert, but I definitely am okay in extrovert situations, if that makes sense. But like naturally speaking, I think I do prefer to like be at home and just kind of hanging out with like the few people that I love. Like I don't really need to be in a big crowd with like a ton of people that I don't know, but I'm also like okay in those situations. Like I can hold my own and I don't get really scared or tired or like stressed out. And then number 19, this is the end of the 19 questions that Adrian tagged me with, but I do have a few more questions that people asked over on Instagram. But the last question is, what is your biggest accomplishment? I mean, I would have to say being a mom. I'm really proud of my 2 kids. I think they're really great kids. I like to think that I have a small part in that, that maybe it has something to do with how we raise them, and they're just really good kids. They're really sweet. I think they're really funny. Yeah, I mean, I know that I could do a lot better for them. I know I'm not like the best mom in the world, but I don't know, they're just really good kids. So I feel like they will always be my greatest accomplishment. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Instagram questions, and I will read you the question, and I will also let you know the Instagram handle of the person who asked the question. So the first question is, what's been your best flip? Which is really funny because my best flip actually happened today, and it kind of counts, kind of doesn't, but my accompanist at work, who you heard me talk about a little bit earlier, she gave me a bunch of stuff of her own to sell, and we kind of worked out like a consignment deal. And one of the pieces that she gave me was an old scarf that had belonged to her father, and it was like a vintage blue Burberry scarf. So I took forever to list it. I still haven't listed like a whole bunch of her stuff, but I finally listed it maybe just like a week ago, and not too long ago, maybe like last winter or 2 winters ago, my brothers and I and like my sister-in-law, we had all chipped in to get my mom a Burberry scarf because my sister-in-law was in England or something on a trip, and she had, no, I think she was in Paris, and she was saying that there was a sale at Burberry or something. I don't know, but she was able to pick up something from Burberry for really cheap. So we actually got my mom a Burberry scarf like a couple years ago, and we gave it to her when she came here from Seattle. The way that they package up the Burberry scarf, they have like this cylinder package. I don't know, that, like the scarf is rolled up and you put it in there, and then a Burberry bag. So even though the scarf that I received from my accompanist was like a vintage cashmere scarf, I also included the cylinder package as well as the Burberry bag, and I think maybe that's what helped it sell. The scarf did have a couple holes in it. I feel like a lot of times cashmere or wool, you'll see, just like small little holes in those pieces, which is kind of frustrating, but there were a couple holes. I listed it for $124, I want to say, and I sent out offers to likers on it for $105, which someone accepted, so I ended up making like 80 something dollars on it, and I am splitting that with my accompanist, so that's not all mine, but I think selling an item for $105, that's the highest amount that I've sold something for. I have sold a jacket for $100, but I've not really gone over $105. I don't do a lot of huge big flips. That's just not the nature of the kind of stuff that I find here, but yeah, 105 literally sold today. That was really exciting. And that question was asked by Annie on Posh. My next question was asked by a student, and he asked, was UHS Singers 2018-2019 your favorite class? Sure, Darian. Sure, it was. Going on, I don't have favorites, but going on, and this kind of has to do with teaching as well. Mama with a camera, so it's like mama period with a camera, asked, what type of choirs do you teach? I have 3 choirs during the day. One is a non-audition choir that anyone who wants to sing can just join. I have another choir that is like all treble voices, so it's all girls. And then I have my mixed group, and it's kind of like the top group. They're like the premier group. And those all meet during the day. And then I have 2 a cappella groups that meet before school as well. And they've looked different like every year, but this year I have a girls group and then I have a mixed group, and they do like competitions and that kind of stuff. And then I also am the vocal director for our musicals. We do 2 musicals a year, one in the fall and one in the spring, so I help out with that. So as you can imagine, all of that keeps me super busy. But yeah, that's what I do at my school. Thrifty Minia? Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Thrifty Minia asked, does the comparison thief of joy ever get to you? That is such a great question, and it's actually something that I started filming a video on that topic, and I just never got around to finishing it because I just couldn't really articulate my feelings very well. So let me try here. It does, the idea of looking at what people around you are doing and comparing your results to their results, or comparing your life to their life. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've spent numerous nights just going down the Facebook rabbit hole of seeing what my classmates from high school are up to now and comparing well, who's more successful than who, or comparing some of my friends who graduated from college with me and looking at their choir programs and comparing them to mine, or from a reselling standpoint, looking at someone else's sales and what they were able to ship out on any given week compared to what I was able to do. And I think honestly, it is human nature to do all of that. I also think though that we can train ourselves not to dwell in that space. And that's something I've been trying to improve on myself, is just the second I kind of start getting in that frame of mind where I'm looking at what other people are doing and either feeling poorly about myself or feeling good about myself, just kind of training myself to take a step back and remind myself that the point of all of this, and when I say all of this, the point of life is not to be able to say, oh, I'm doing better than so-and-so. I think the point of life really is to say, I am doing my very best given my present circumstances, given my context. And that's the piece that you don't always see on social media, you don't see what everyone's current context is. You don't know if, so like for myself, when I think about my context, I am really busy. I teach full time. I have 2 kids. I'm very involved in my church. I have this YouTube channel, and I've made the conscious decision not to devote as much time to my reselling business as other people can. And therefore, like, I shouldn't have the same results as people who are doing this full time. So it doesn't make sense for me to compare myself to people who are doing this full time. And even if I were to compare myself to people who are doing this part time, it's like still our contexts are really different. So, I think I'm like getting better at stopping myself when I get into that headspace of just like, ooh, like I feel really good about myself because so-and-so only has this many views on a YouTube video and I have this many. Or I think I'm getting much better at like stopping myself and just reminding myself that doesn't matter. Like, stop comparing yourself to other people and instead like set goals for yourself and do what you can to meet them, but don't make it about other people. So it does, like, if I'm being honest with myself, the comparison thief of joy thing, like, it is something that I struggle with still, but I like to think that I'm getting better at pushing that aside when it comes to the forefront of my brain. Ashley_O says, aloha from Hawaii. Oh, I'm so jealous of you. I love Hawaii so much. Do you see yourself ever becoming a full-time reseller? Why or why not? I feel like I'm honestly kind of going through like a midlife crisis right now. I'm kind of at this point in my life where I could do a lot of things. I could pivot and just live a very different life than what I'm living right now. And I think that it's one of those things like, I don't want to just be rash and make decisions based off of feelings, or I don't know, like it's one of those things I know I need to like pray more about and I just need to like give more thought to. But at this moment, full-time reselling is probably not something that's going to happen. I'm also like toying around with the idea of going back to get my PhD in music education. And as difficult as teaching is, and oh my gosh, is it difficult sometimes, like it's so draining, but I do feel like so much of my life and where I get my sense of purpose comes from building relationships with my students and knowing that I'm making a difference. Like, that sounds so cheesy, but just knowing that I'm able to provide an opportunity and experience for them within choir and musical theater and all that kind of stuff. And just to even be like an older figure in their life that they can turn to talk about things that are troubling them, or just to help them through different situations. Like, I like teaching music, but I didn't get into teaching music to teach music. Like, I like choir, but the reason I became a choir teacher really was because choir has the unique opportunity for teachers to build relationships with their students, sometimes over the course of 4 years. Like, a lot of my seniors right now, I've had them for 4 years, and I see them so much. Like, I see them for so many hours in the day, and you're able to develop such a strong relationship with people that way. And so just knowing, like, the quality of conversations that we've been able to have, and just knowing, like, I don't know, like, I think I would miss that a lot. So as difficult and as draining as it is, I don't know if I could give that up. I do love reselling too, though, and in some ways I think that it would be easier than teaching because I can work on my own schedule. I don't have to deal with students who don't want to do what I'm asking them to do. Like, there's, a lot of pros to reselling, but at this time I don't see myself going full-time. So Adriana, and she has like 3 A's on every A and 2 N's. I will put her handle here. She asked a couple questions, but the first one was, please do an inventory storage video, but I love your YouTube. Thank you so much. I do actually have an inventory storage video, and I will link that right here. It was one of my earlier videos, but nothing has really changed since I did it. And I know that Poshmark came out with a new part of listings where you can put like a SKU and whatnot. I personally am not using it just because what I'm doing right now works for me. So yeah, if you want to check out what I do for my inventory system, it's super simple, super bare bones, but if you don't want to put too much effort and time into creating an inventory system for yourself, then I would definitely recommend checking that out. Next, Sell Quick Ship Quick asked, what is your favorite thing to do in your downtime? That is a really good question. I feel like I don't have a lot of downtime, but lately, like, I just feel like I have such little time to spend with my kids. So whenever we get the chance, like, I like to read to them. I personally am just like a huge reader. I want to make sure that I instill that passion of reading in my kids, so I do like to read to them. I'm reading the first Harry Potter book to my 6-year-old daughter right now, and my son, he has like a bunch of random books that he likes to go through and read, but I do like to read to them. Oh my gosh, like downtime, I don't have downtime. I feel like whenever I have any spare time, I always like devote it to reselling. I'll always take pictures, or I'll do some inventory, or I'll edit a YouTube video. I don't have a lot of time that I just like sit there and do something for myself, which I need to change. I need to take care of myself more. I do like baths. I like taking bubble baths. But even when I take bubble baths, I usually am like sharing my closet or something in the bath. So it is what it is. And then the last question I have, again from Adriana, is do you go Black Friday shopping for inventory? If so, where? That's a great question. I honestly am pretty horrible at retail arbitrage. I don't do it very often, and there aren't really like great places to do retail arbitrage in my town. I feel like we do have a TJ Maxx and we have a Ross, but I feel like my TJ Maxx does not get the same kind of stuff that other TJ Maxxes do. I will do like Plato's Closet, but I did go last year to Goodwill on Black Friday, and that's because I was in like the Chicago suburbs visiting my parents-in-law. We were in Chicago for Thanksgiving to be with family, and my mother-in-law also loves thrifting, so we went to Goodwill together, and her Goodwill also does like a 20% off discount if it's your birthday month. You can use like a 20% off discount once in your birthday month or something like that. So I think they were doing like 27% off for Black Friday, and then we got to stack that 20% off birthday discount on top of that. So that was a really great trip, and I remember finding like mother jeans then and some other really great stuff. Unfortunately, we're not going to go to Chicago this Thanksgiving. We're staying here. My mother and father-in-law are going to come here to Champaign, so I don't know yet if I'm going to do any Black Friday shopping. I honestly probably won't. I'll probably just hang out with my family, but we'll see. I mean, it's been a super long time since I've gone to Goodwill, so I would like to go, but yeah, we'll see. Oh, if you made it this far, God bless you. I know my voice is like so difficult to listen to, although it's kind of gotten better like throughout the course of the video. Like I said, Adrian from Jewel Butterfly, she tagged me. I'm supposed to tag 3 people to also make this video, to answer these 19 questions, and then they can, take it upon themselves if they want to ask Instagram people or YouTube people to leave further questions for them. So I am going to tag Josh from Lot of Josh. We joke around sometimes about how we are siblings with different parents because, we're both into reselling, we're both Korean, and I think there's such a like cultural understanding that we have of one another, but he's doing some amazing things over on his YouTube channel, and he just recently went full-time as a reseller. So if you haven't checked him out yet, definitely do, because it's been really fun, just kind of rooting him on as he begins this full-time reselling journey. The second person that I will tag is Josh over at Harry Tornado. I think Josh is so funny. He also recently just started reselling full-time, and he, I think, is pretty knowledgeable about what he's doing over on eBay, and I learned a lot from him. And finally, I'm going to tag Michelle and G from the Bin Pickers, because they are literally some of my favorite people in this reselling community. I just love how they're so raw and honest, and they're not afraid to share the ugly side of reselling too, because there are parts of it that are just hard, and but yeah, I think they're just very like down-to-earth people. I did have the pleasure of meeting them too, and they're just wonderful. So all 3 of those channels, make sure that you're following them if you are not yet. I will link them all down below. But yeah, that's it. Next week we'll kind of be back to our regular scheduled programming, and I'm going to have a video for you on different kinds of reseller tools that I use on a daily basis. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, or if you feel like you learned one new thing about me, make sure you hit that big like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!